Oh, hello, my wonderful, beautiful broskies and wonderful, beautiful bros, guys of the nation. I'm the Darshana Maverick. And oh my god, finally, the actual part one of this series, which I finally figured out what I freaking wanted to name it. If you were guys wondering about the code part and part zero, what the co was, for those of you that don't know what that stands for, co as in company. So basically, yeah. What if Izuku and company, because co means company, basically, for those of you that did not know, and were puzzled by that, like I said, you probably would have known, for those of you that did not know. Basically, what if Izuku and company is, let me look at something. Basically, what if Izuku and Ko plus S, what if Izuku and Co. plus Akatsuki Espada Creed ran a Quirkless daycare. In other words, a daycare for the Quirkless, children. So yeah, basically, what if Izuku and Co. plus Akatsuki Espada Creed ran a Quirkless daycare? This would be the actual part one, because the other one was part zero, because I had to finalize all this shit, you know. Now we actually get into the meat and potatoes. Well, as being part one, we would start out basically with the daycare. Izuku and company, basically. Izuku and the others that would basically be the Agora of the Santas that they are. Because if you guys remember part zero, Izuku is basically Nightmare Sans. And if I remember correctly without having to look again, Naruto is Dust Sans, Sasuke is Horror Sans, Issei is Air Sans, and Sai was Murder Sans, and Grunjiao was Cross Sans. And everybody else is basically just themselves, and plus also the fraction of the Espada would be there as well, with the daycare. So basically, this would be, as the daycare was starting out. And basically, a very slow business day. As until, as more days go by, business starts to speed up, as in more quirkless children, or children, just children, more children start showing up at the door. I say it's a quirkless daycare, but I mostly say that because, well, that's kind of the main purpose, but there are some kids with quirks that could indeed make it in. Cough, cough, Bakugo, possibly. And, well, oh boy. First few days, very eventful days out of this, big old cycle of more and more being built up as more and more kids start coming in. Basically, the day would go like this. Basically, Izuku basically being like, oh, not surprising, not all that eventful. Wait a second. Is that? I cannot believe I actually have to say this. Issei, and Issei basically as murder Sam would be like, yeah, basically, Izuku as Nightmare Sansers would be like, what the frick are you doing with Rias in the frickin' middle of the frickin' lobby room? How did she even get there? What the hell were you doing last night while everyone else was freaking asleep? Oh god, Remy doesn't even want to know now. She's disgusting. And he say, as freaking murder Sanchez would be like, we'll just be like, oh, Rias. Yeah, that's right. Rias? And Rias would just be like, what the there's a and like freaking Izuku would be like, oh hell no. Back with your freaking destruction magic. And Rias would just have realized that she was about to charge a giant ball of destruction magic. And freaking like freaking Izuku's nightmare and like freaking everywhere else. And Rias would just be like, oops, sorry. And Izuku has like basically Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, basically would just be like, he said, I can't believe I'm actually going to have to say this, but you need to rein your girlfriend in. And Rias, I don't want to hear any of your bullshit rejecting Issei as being your freaking boyfriend. We all know that you're into him and that he's into you. And so don't try any of that rejection shit. We already all know that that's, how it be. Let it be, let it be. And Rias would just be blushing like, ah, damn it. Fine. And, Issei would just be looking at Izuku, aka Nightmare's answer, and he would just be like, Issei? And Issei would be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And Issei would just, like, pick Rias, like, up, like, bridal style, and, like, basically take her, like, upstairs, like, where all the rooms of, like, all the assistants are. And basically, like, Rias would be like, can we do this more often, Issei? And Issei would be like, okay, that confirms it. Izuku and everyone else are right. You are into me. Damn it, I'm into you too. Shit. By the way, now that I just admitted that, keep your trap shut about that, or else whoop, I'm going to have to kill you. Basically, everyone learning the whole Sans magic that did get like transformed into just like Sans form. They were kind of learning the whole, ways and woes of like being Sans. And he'd say, especially considering the Sans that he became, you know, freaking murder slash killer Sans. But a good thing about being like murder slash killer Sans is that he's also very proficient with any like type of like knife. He's like really good at not only stabbing people with them but throwing them at them. Like, very high accuracy, like high like amounts of force without really exhausting himself all that much. And he's even doing the non-eye like face where like, you know, Issei would just be looking at Rias and just be like, okay, okay, I won't say anything about this. I won't. Jesus. And Issei's like, are you sure? Because I don't think you convinced me. And Rias would be like, would a kiss convince you? And Issei's like, never mind, I'm convinced. Like, he does not want to have to deal with this shit this early in the damn morning. Plus, it's like in the middle of the dead of winter, whenever all this shit is going on. So it's like, never mind, I don't need any extra proof. Just keep your mouth shut. And, well, after all of that, basically he was like going back to his, normal, like, job as the owner of the damn daycare. And being like, oh, all that seems to be done is like freaking paperwork. And then all of a sudden, you were just kind of like a plop, and Izuku would be like, wait, what the hell? Nani? Nani the fuck? And, he would just be like, ah, shit. Oh, good God. And basically, you know, as Izuku would just be like, Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, will just be like, it's just like, Naruto, Sasuke, Sai, get your asses over here. And then you would just see Naruto, aka Dust, Sasuke, aka Horror, and Sai, aka. Issei was Hair Sans. The frick am I smoking? Sai is like a murder slash killer Sans. Basically, you would see Naruto, aka Dust Sans, Sasuke, aka Horror Sans, and you would see Sai, aka the actual like murder slash killer Sans. Because I'm not really sure which name is more accurate to the actual AU. So yeah, basically you would just see the three of them pop the frick out of nowhere like Ambu. And just be like, yeah. And Izuku's like, come with me. And he would just like go all the way to the front door and Sasuke would be like, oh, this is gonna be rich. I mean, like, he never does this unless he has an idea on what's actually going on. And Naruto's like, oh my god, you think? And Sasuke's like, no, Naruto, I don't think. I kind of, actually believe I know. And Sai's just like, he's wanting to get on inside the inside joke, and so he's just like, okay then, well let's just see how this pans out, plays out. All three of them were there with Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, and they just see as the door opens, basically, this little basket, and there's a little bundle inside the little basket, and they're like making little noises, and then there's like this card tied to the basket, and basically, freaking Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, like, rip, just like takes the card off and like opens it, finds a message, like reads it, and it's like, wait, what the shit? Like, it's not because it's quirkless, and it's not because of any like money problems. It's because apparently, what the hell? Destruction, a freaking explosion quirk doesn't make someone a villain, and especially not at birth. And basically, just from that alone, they can basically tell that this child does have a quirk, but that's the reason. The quirk is the reason why they've been sent to the daycare. And that, from what Izuku slash, basically Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, said, that this quirk is an explosion quirk. And, well, after a couple more words are exchanged, basically they actually figure out that this explosion quirk is actually a mix in between the quirk of the mother and of the father. And that the quirk is actually called explosions. And, whenever they all just like gather around to like look at the child and just like see this kid with like this like a slightly tan, like messy blonde hair. And, the kid is just like this innocent little ball of joy. Because, he hasn't got in a chance to get any of that bravado or arrogance yet. He's still a little innocent ball of joy. That is until he starts to freaking cry, you know. Because, that's part of what babies, are known for doing. Crying whenever they like something. And considering that, besides just the overall, general appearance, whenever you first look at the kid, now they're starting to look a little bit deeper. They're starting to realize a little bit of, malnourishment. As in, it wasn't the parents that knocked on the door, but someone else that found this scene knocked on the door because obviously the kid was not actually noticed, outside of the door. Because the parents didn't have enough heart in themselves to actually do that so that, Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans, and the others would know about this. They were so heartless that they didn't actually knock on the door so that they would like answer and open to see that, the kid was there. So this Bakugo is a very malnutrition Bakugo at the moment. And, that is the reason why he is currently crying. And also, the other reason is that, he boom boom. Yeah, not only freaking starving, but, shit. On the sack. All the shit. Yes. Very bad situation. And so, while there are some people made to basically, take care of the whole feeding situation, well, there are others that are made, to take care of the stinky situation. And basically, Seeing as Naruto himself, he was well originally, an orphan, and Sasuke was made an orphan by his older brother, which he is now having to live with because he volunteered to help the orphanage. So yeah, basically Naruto and Sasuke are kind of you know put in charge of basically seeing as I don't want to like some of the strongest shinobi, but they're also like some of the fastest shinobi. So if anyone could get you know to the milk and diapers, fast enough to where this kid didn't have to suffer any longer than they already had been, it would probably be somewhere around them because they're currently the ones in the situation. Well, besides Izuku and also Sai, but that's beside the point. So Naruto, aka Dust Sands, and Sasuke, aka Horror Sands, they basically put themselves in charge, kind of volunteer-ish, and put themselves in charge of finding some sort of formula, like pre-made formula milk that isn't out of date. Basically, the closest thing that this baby is going to get to breast milk, and also putting themselves in charge of finding diapers, and basically Sai is basically going to assist Izuku in not only helping pacify Bakugo for the time being, but diapers are fine. You first have to clean the baby's bottom after you have to take the original diapers off. So yeah, basically you would also have to clean the diapers and the baby's bottom, but more or less clean the baby's bottom. And so Sai is basically taking charge of like assisting, Izuku in that, Sai as in actual murder slash killer Sans, and Izuku as in aka Nightmare Sans, are basically, having themselves being taken care of, like cleaning Bakugo, as Naruto and Sasuke are going to do what they're going to be doing. And as for who's actually going to be feeding and burping Bakugo, once he gets his, nutrition back to proper health, well, you know, it's kind of like a game of hot potato or musical chairs. Anybody, it could be anybody, whoever volunteers first, I guess. Or maybe just Izuku because it's in the goodness of his heart. Izuku, aka Nightmare Sans. And well, basically, seeing as Bakugo is with Izuku and Sai, basically, Izuku slash Nightmare, Izuku aka Nightmare Sans and Sai aka Murder slash Killer Sans. Well, Naruto aka Dust Sans and Sasuke aka Horror Sans are doing their thing. Basically, everybody has their own job. And well, basically after everything's, gone and done, basically Naruto, aka Dust Sans, and Sasuke, aka Horror Sans. Basically, they're coming back from retrieving the milk and stuff to not only clean the baby bottom, but to get the diapers for like the new diapers. Yeah, diapers for the baby bottom, and even some like medicine because Naruto, aka Dust Sans, and Sasuke, aka Horror Sans, actually ran into Neliel and Tia while they were going to do this. And basically, they discussed that there could possibly be some sort of skin irritation or like a chaffing or like chest. I forget what it's called, but like there could possibly be some sort of like anything like that. And there might need to be some sort of medicine put on, like ointment put on for little baby bottom, just in order to make things good, all around good. And so, Neliel and Tia helped them with that. And seeing as, Neliel and Tia have their own fraction, basically, Pashi, Dondo Chaka, Apache, Sung Sung, and Mila Rose all helped out as well. So, yeah, basically, once Naruto, aka Dust Sans, and Sasuke, aka freaking Horror Sans, got back to the group, there would also be Neliel and Tia and their faction there as well, with the ointment for the little baby bottom. Basically, they would be going towards the destination, just be like, this, and be like, so, Neliel, Tina, how's everybody doing? The other, your fraction, how's everybody doing? Freaking Neliel would just look at Tia, and Tia would look at Neliel, and they would be like, and just like, and Pesci, Dondo Chaka, Apache, Milero, like Sung Sung, they would all just be like, like if they were like, who can care? And Sasuke, aka Horror Stands, would just basically be like, well, I guess that's a living, not a dying. And Naruto, aka Dust Stands, would just be like, Sasuke, make another pun like that again, or joke like that again, and I will indeed kill you. And Sasuke, aka Warsons, will just be like, I gotta ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question first, Naruto. And Naruto does sense just be like, oh my god, the Papyrus. If I knew it was gonna be this painful, I don't think I really would have. And like a voice in Naruto, aka Dust's head, would just be like, brother, I don't think that's the actual truth. I think you're just saying that because this other person is annoying you. And Naruto's just like, well, you got me there. You got me there, bro. And basically, Nelio would be like, bro, but Naruto, I thought you were like you were not only an orphan, but an only child. And basically, Sasuke and Dio just look at, Nelly all like, Really? You're gonna do that? You're gonna mention that? And Naruto would just be like, no, 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 no. Like, freaking, freaking Nelio would just it would just be like, Naruto would just be like, Naruto, aka, like, D.S.M, just be like, oh, no, 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 it's okay, it's fine, it's just pap in my head, Pyrus. Papyrus that I brutally murdered. But never mind about that. No, Tio would be like freaking, no, very much mind about that. What the hell are you talking about? And Sasuke, aka Horror Sans, would basically be like, Tia, it's kind of difficult. But maybe another time we could talk about this. Whenever little baby boy isn't involved. And Nelio's like, yeah, Tia, I think this is a little bit more important than whatever the hell Naruto said. And Naruto, aka Dust, answers be like, phew, saved by the, I guess, several people. Sam, I wonder. Hmm. Never mind. Um, anyways, basically it would finally be them there, and they would have all the stuff. And basically, Bakugo would have been taken care of. And, a couple years would have gone by. Not really years, but more or less months would have gone by. And not even months, okay? I guess a couple weeks. Okay, I guess a couple weeks. And by the time these couple weeks passed by, it would no longer be the dead of winter. It would actually be like to the part where it was like turning into like spring. And what better to signify that than to basically see the trees as they begin to grow their leaves from their state as they were whenever, they were in winter. They would basically now have their leaves again. Springtime. And basically, as it would just start to become spring, it would have been a while. And, well, several more little kitties would have been added to, you know, the daycare. For example, Kirishima, Tokiyami, Momo, Ochako, Kaminari, basically, Kirishima, Momo, Ochako, Kaminari, Tokiyami, Toru, and also basically, Toru, the invisible girl, Hagakure, Toru Hagakure, her as well, that, and well, also, I guess like Mineta, Shoto, Like all sorts of kids would just be added to the daycare. And that's probably not even all of the ones that have been added. Just the ones that I would be able to like come up with like right off the bat. And, there would be certain kids that well, certain members of like the Espadas and the Akatsuki Creed, like members of the daycare, would kind of have taken a little bit more of a liking to than others. Like for example, this basically comes into play with whenever you take into account Itachi and Tokoyami. You know, Tokoyami, the kind of person that he is, especially at his age, Itachi would kind of, like the little kid, the little birdie, and well, and basically, as all of that would be going on, there'd also be a little bit of something unexpected. Not expected, but yet unexpected. Kasame and Ochako. Soraka. I mean, Samahata seems to like her. Especially whenever she uses her quirk to make Samahata float. Some of these kids are just late bloomers. Like maybe they got their quirk awakened like later than someone else, so people actually thought that they were quirkless whenever they were just late bloomers, and so no one really gave them a chance. That's kind of the sad reality of life. Hanta Sarah would also be in the daycare. There would also be some like class 1B kids, and the daycare like Ibarai and uh, well, just others, ones from Class 1B as well, and even ones from General Studies, aka Shinso. Possibly even, people like Natsume. So, yeah, not just Class 1A students, but also students from 1B and students from General Studies. Basically, what I am whenever I say that is basically Shinso, because he's like the coolest one out of them. So basically, yeah, like that. Basically, it would just be really funny seeing a little tiny Ochako, you know, I mean, basically playing with a sword that is said to like eat chakra and eat people and like shred them to bits. And even like the fish man, she finds him funny. Fishman, as in Kisame no Shigaki, the tailless tail beast. She finds him funny. There's even been several times where she's actually gotten Kisame to basically piggyback ride. And, it's really not all that much of a problem, seeing as, Ochako can use her quirk to make herself, feel, weightless. So Kasame really wouldn't have all that much of a problem. And if, any involving any Espada having any connection to any of the kids, a serious connection. Well, just overall, seeing as Bakugo was basically the first one that they really actually got, you know, basically whenever they were starting their business, the first one, their first, I guess you could call it a customer in Bakugo, basically being dropped off before he even had his first freaking birthday. So he was age 0 whenever he was dropped off. He wasn't even taken care of all that well. So yeah, basically someone who was basically thrown away like they were garbage, and someone who basically had a hard time understanding emotions to the point of nihilism. Okay, basically because of slight similarities in between their two situations, or more or less with your situation in the past, way back in the past, Samurai Jack shit, get back to the past and all that shit. Basically, Cure would indeed feel some sort of sympathy or empathy for Bakugo's whole situation, and even find that he kind of likes the guy, likes the little explosion boy. And Mei Hatsume being a freaking ball of energy like no other, always wanting to. Hello. Thanks. You're welcome. Basically, Mei Hatsume being ballless, basically endless ball of energy like no other. The girls, it would kind of just be a deciding factor in between who would be more suited to be you know, more likely to be around Mei Hatsume than the other, Tia or Neliel. And seeing as Neliel had the whole thing where there was a time whenever she was a little kid, basically. And, Tia is basically, the way she is. And the whole betrayal thing with Aizen, and the fact that her aspect of death is loyalty. Yeah, ouch. So yeah, it'd probably be safer to put it as Nelial would be the one. Plus, being stuck in that, little kid stage for how long she was. That is until Urahara decided to make, Kisuke Urahara decided to make that little bracelet thing for her to keep her in her, adult form. And so, yeah, basically, the, endless ball of energy, Mei Hatsume, just overall liking the company of a certain original Tercera Espada Nelia to Adisvong. Of course, there are others that take care of them, but there are just certain ones that are like the main ones that you usually see around them. I guess because of like certain connections and certain ties. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take care of some things. But basically, I think this is a good place. This is only part one, and part zero only existed because I was getting everything together. So I think this is a good place to end off part one with basically letting you guys know like the building blocks of the daycare are just now starting to, kick into gear. So, Alan's the end. That's the direction. Remember, Gazillion T. I'd hear you boys like, favorite, subscribe. Big little bell. And deuces.